We live. All right, let's go. What's going on, everybody? It is Intelligent Psycho back here with another NBA playoff preview, and this time is for the NBA Finals for the battle for the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the NBA Championship between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'm going to be talking about game one, and I'm going to be talking about the series and my predictions and why. So, starting off for game one, I believe this is going to be one of those trap games, for the Thunder. And I believe that they're going to be in for a long haul, a long ride, because the pace is going to give everything that they got with the fast pace early on in the first half, and mainly the first quarter. I think the second quarter, their defense is going to kick in and probably slow the game down and try to make it half court, mainly with Jalen Williams and Lou Dort switching off on Halliburton and Nembhard, and also Naismith. I think we're going to see a lot of Casey Wallace and Alex Caruso off the bench for them, and they're going to probably take it a little bit to Halliburton's going to make him defer off of the get back, and I do believe that it's going to be one of those nights where Halliburton may be end up having to defer to his other teammates, mainly deferring to Naismith, Aaron Nesmith, and Nembhard. And I think he definitely will have to defer to Pascal Siakam, because Pascal Siakam is going to be very important in this series. Because I don't know if the Thunder have a ability to slow him down, so he's going to have to be the X factor for the Pacers. And the Thunder in Game One is definitely going to get a lot of the money's worth for what the Pacers are going to bring to them. Number one, because the Pacers they were the number one 3-point shooting team throughout the entire postseason, percentage-wise. And they were the number one offensive team when it comes to fast break points and transition points the whole entire regular season. And getting up the fastest transition points and fast break points. So it's gonna be one of those series and one of those games where it could be a game where it goes back and forth into the over 120 something. And I also do believe it could be one of those nights where you can see you definitely are going to see a whole lot of backdoor cuts and open lanes to the basket, which will draw up and free up a lot of Harkenstein and Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is going to be one of those guys that's going to probably switch up and guard Miles Turner, because I don't think he's going to be able to guard Siakam and stay with him. And I don't believe that Harkenstein is going to be able to guard Siakam and stay with him either. But they are going to be able to keep a hold of Miles Turner and a little bit of Tony Bradley. This is where I think Thomas Bryant is going to play a factor in this one as well. Obi Toppin's definitely going to be another factor that's come off the bench for the Pacers. The Pacers can go 11 deep, but the Thunder also can go 11 deep as well, 12 deep, whatever you can call it, whatever you can think of. They got the roster, they got the demand, they got the pull to do so, and it's going to be one of those long, hard-fought battles. To me, I can see the Pacers possibly stealing game one, but then something tells me that I think in the first half, where the Thunder going to play a lot of half-court defense, and they're going to mix up a lot of zone, keep the Pacers trapped in the perimeter, and make them shoot jumpers instead of just rolling into transition, causing a lot of turnovers, causing a lot of wreckage, and then having to force their hand as far as getting out in transition. I don't think the Thunder make a whole lot of turnovers and mess up a whole lot of plays. So it's going to be one of those nights where, if the Pacers, if they make their shots, and not only if they make their shots, if they can force the Thunder into like at least 10 to 11 turnovers, I think they have a shot of stealing game one and possibly have a shot in the series and taking it. And that's where I believe we're going to see a whole lot of both teams' bench is going to be a X factor. There's going to be an X factor throughout, and it's going to take a whole lot. It's going to weigh a whole lot of toll on both teams. The exhaustion is going to be there throughout. And not only that, I believe the attrition is going to set in for both squads. And we're going to see a whole lot of duality. It's going to be a lot of duality. It's going to be a lot of back and forth free fall. So I got overall I think the Thunder will probably win game one and steal it and take game one. I think the Pacers will probably win game two. I think the Thunder will take game one. I think the Pacers will take game two. This could go back and forth, where I think both teams will win on each other's home court. I think the Thunder will probably steal game three. The Pacers will win game four and defend it. And then whoever wins game five more than likely is going to probably win the series outright. I don't think it's going to be one of those series where the Thunder is going to overwhelmingly outmatch and outpace the Pacers. It's going to overwhelmingly control the whole series. Number one is because I think the Thunder, you know, if there is a team that can match their physicality and that can match their pace and that can match the ability of shooting, their shooting ability, it is the Pacers, in my opinion. That is the Pacers, in my opinion. Yeah, that is the Pacers, in my opinion. So that's gonna be a overall. It's gonna be a long, hard fought series. It's gonna be one of those things where attrition's gonna probably set in for both teams. I think exhaustion will be tantamount. Also, I think both coaches. I think Will Carlisle has a whole lot of experience more than Mark Dagnall, especially in the NBA Finals, and especially throughout the postseason. I think he does better when it comes to rotations. I think he does better when it comes to just overall putting his best foot forward, and when it comes to lineups and rotations. And overall, I can see this series. I can see the Pacers winning this series in 6 games, but I would not be surprised if the Thunder come out and steal it in 5 and win this series in 5 or 6. I would not be surprised because they're going to be heavily favored. Vegas is already having them favored at 500 at minus 475 odds. Oh, and Jesse Parham, how's it going? I'm doing okay. But yeah, getting back to this, yeah, I can definitely see the Thunder probably taking this. The more than likely odds. I think the Thunder probably win this one. More than likely, the odds for a lot of people probably picking the Thunder at 5 or 6. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but I just think the Pacers are on another tear. Nobody picked them to even get close to this cup for the entire postseason. Not even including myself. At the end of the day, but but I think in this series, it's gonna be one of those things where the attrition will set in, and also the overall durability, and overall who can get out in transition, who can get out in fast break opportunities. And can the Pacers do something that we haven't seen them before, play a half-court game and do it consistently? And if they can, it's going to be one of those things where I think they can match the energy of what the Thunder is going to bring them. And if they do that, it's going to be a long series for OKC. So I don't think the Celtics would have beaten the Thunder overall. I just think that the Thunder make smarter decisions, better decisions out there on the court. So I think they probably would have whooped the Celtics in 5. I think it would have definitely not been a competitive series when you think about it. And also, to me, any other team, being there, I don't think they would have had a shot of competing with them. Because you can see the Thunder, they get out and run as well. And they're young. They had all that energy, that synergy, a really big, large sense of urgency. And they keep their heads on a swivel. They keep their entire heads on a swivel throughout. And I definitely believe and think that it's going to be one of those things where if you are not if you're not prepared and you prepared to sleep, yeah, if you sleep on the Pacers and not prepare for them without a shadow of a doubt, they can come out and wreck a whole game plan. And then also for the Pacers, the keys for them in this series, Pascal, not only Pascal Siakam, but their bench starts with T.J. McConnell. It starts with Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, Tony Bradley, Thomas Bryant. All these guys have to have a factor. Jarris Walker. All these guys have to have a factor. And if they don't have a factor in this series, then it's gonna be a issue for them. It's gonna be an issue for the Pacers. They gotta be a factor in this one. If they're not an X factor at all, that's a problem. The Thunder has a ton of first round picks the next 6 years. 2 are top 10 protected. It's crazy. Yeah, Team Blue is not cool. Yeah, that's what the Thunder. That just goes to show you that Sam Presti is a really good GM. He really knows how to draft a core class for the next overhaul for the next 6 years for that overall future, and that just goes to show you how good of a GM he is, and that just goes show you how good of like a front office they have because they know how to build their team from the ground up instead of going into the off season and picking guys to team up and pair up with one another. You know, you actually got a small market team who just know and a owner and a front office that knows how to draft players and put players in the right positions and pair guys up that makes their team a better success for the next overhaul. He is the best GM. I think the Pacers have a great chance. Yeah, the Pacers, like I said, got to they got to start off fast. They got to match the Thunder at any given cost, and defensively, they got to get stops. They overall got to get stops on their end, like get in the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's face, get in the Jay Williams' face. They got to get stops on their end, and they got to run. They got to keep running, and they got to finish at the basket. You can't just do these simple kickouts for threes, because especially if they don't get the amount of airspace, because Thunder's not going to give you that amount of airspace to shoot. They gotta run to the rim and attack the basket and draw fouls to get contact, because if they don't, then they're gonna be in for a long series for them, and I don't see them winning. But the Pacers gotta go and attack the basket. Oh, by the way, the Mavs. Oh, LKC future first round picks. Yeah, the Mavericks. The Mavericks definitely do. I mean, they spent their last. They spent their last with the trade from Luka now. And they spent the last trade from Luka and Max Kleber and Marquise Morris and a couple draft picks for the to the Lakers to get AD, Max Christie, and some picks. So the Mavericks definitely owe something. I mean, and then not only that, the Thunder haven't. The OKC will have so much draft capital they can trade for anything they want. Yeah, like the Thunder they have for the next 6 to 7 years, they got so many draft picks they can go through and create another team after Shea and Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren when they're gone after like 10, 12, 13 years in their career. They can go into a draft class and create and still be back in the thick of things and still be on top. Yeah, the Thunder is pretty much set in course. But yeah, with the Mavericks, they got so much draft capital, is crazy. And then for them to able to get the first round draft pick in the lottery, because that Cooper Flag's gonna fall in their lap. Yeah, I mean that was some rigged stuff for them. And in order for them to get back from what happened with the disastrous of that trade, that set the whole NBA market back. So yeah, they owe a lot of teams gratitude, and Nico Harrison is on some other stuff. Yeah, they know exactly what they was doing. They knew exactly what they was doing from Jump Street, from the moment they even did it. They knew exactly the Mavericks knew exactly what they was going for. Yeah, that they don't fool me at all with what they was trying to go for. Yeah, I mean that just goes to show you. And also, but getting back to what I was saying with the Pacers and the Thunder in the finals. Another thing about the Pacers that's the craziest part is the Pacers are you got two small market teams, but mainly the NBA at one point in time with when KD, Harden, and Westbrook was there, they pushed, and also when Scott Brooks was the coach, and of course with Thabo Cephalosha, Serge Ibaka, um, and when Derek Fisher on his last years was there, they pushed the Thunder at that time back then in 2012, 2011, 2012. Yeah, 2011, 2012. When they pushed that team, that was a team at a young core, at a young age, when all of their talent and athleticism drew in, and that may be half center. But the thing is, with at that time, the league was a little bit different, but still was in a in an era where a lot of soft ass calls was happening. So that goes to show you that the Thunder for a while was gonna be destined to do something. Had to have uh they just had to have the right system of players that's gonna buy into that system. And it's what but the Pacers, the thing is they didn't get the national coverage. They never got that national coverage on like ESPN or ABC like these other bigger marketed teams, because they don't have all the sexy names, the splash players, the splash kind of names. They wasn't really marquee focused. They only showed them on Fox Sports, Fox Sports One or something. They never really had that kind of fortitude. Pacers had a low key drafted excellent. Yeah, I mean I forget the Pacers GM's name, but they did a good. They've done an excellent job in picking out their roster, and also trading for Halliburton too, because I think Halliburton was going to be with the Kings. Yeah, Halliburton was going to be with the Sacramento was going to be was with the Kings, and they traded him away to go get De'Aaron Fox, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Halliburton is go. Hey, hello, how's it going? But yeah, that's what they did. And the thing is, Halliburton is a natural, true point guard. He don't he's unselfish with the ball. He don't take a like 20 to 25 shots a game like a lot of point guards do, and he can actually play off the ball. And that's the one thing that a lot of younger point guards don't necessarily do. You got a lot of guards a lot of combo guards who play a lot of the two, like a Dame Lillard, a Steph Curry, and a Jalen Brunson, who all they do is they mostly, well, Steph is more versatile than a lot of them. But a lot of those guys, they like to play more the shooting. They like to catch and shoot kind of guys, and they need guys who can also catch and shoot, but also can pass. That can pass for them. That makes it worthwhile, and I really like that. And I really don't like that about certain some guards. But I think Halliburton is one of the only few that feels like a natural 2 point guard. Like oh, I already said it. I already said the Pacers are winning six. Team Blue is not cool. I already said that before you came on. But yeah, I said the Pacers is gonna win in 6 games. But yeah, and the reason why I said that is because I feel like the Pacers is definitely their energy that they're going to be able to get to the basket at points, and I think their passing ability and ball movement is something that teams is not going to be, especially the Thunder have not seen all season long, and that's going to give them a lot of problems. Something that the Nuggets couldn't have done, something that the Nuggets couldn't have done, and the reason why they couldn't have done it is because they're a lot older, and they lost a lot of key pieces with Bruce Brown being gone, KCP being gone, Jeff Green, and etc. Reggie Jackson, their shooters, so they couldn't outlast the Thunder's really good, historically good defense. The Pacers, however, have, like I said earlier in the show, a really deep team and young, and they have a lot of depth, and they know how to move the ball around. They have a lot of it's unselfish guys that like to catch and shoot, and also what's underrated about them is their defense and is their ability to get stops, and they're gonna have to do that in here in this series to really keep it afloat. So I like the Pacers' odds and chances in 6 games that can really give them a whole lot of problems. And they're gonna be a deep team for future years to come in the Eastern Conference. I don't see them going anywhere at this point. They're gonna be a team that's gonna be able to run it back, as long as they keep these same core guys there. And they also don't have a lot of ego. That's another thing I like about them. They don't have a lot of ego. They don't have a lot of ego at all, and that's really gonna be the thing that's gonna help them out in the long run in the future. Also, I do believe that. Um, the Thunder's gonna be here for years to come as well. They're gonna be here for a while, and they're not going away anytime soon. That same core of guys is gonna be there for years to come. But we're not gonna ever see this matchup again, where two small market teams are gonna be able to come back, because the NBA is gonna be at some point gonna put their Lakers and Celtics back in the fold and back in the thick of things. So that's why this offseason is gonna be very shaky. It's gonna be vitally important, because we're going to see a whole lot of moves that we're not going to agree with, and that they're not going to come about. And I I'm not going to be shocked if guys and players move around. I could see Jonathan Kuminga going to somewhere like the Brooklyn Nets. I could see Trae Young possibly leaving Atlanta, because Atlanta's not going anywhere. They're not going nowhere. They're a walking disaster. If I've ever seen it, if you ever seen it, like I mean, their team is a walking disaster. They can't even fight to get from the play and to get into the playoffs, let alone have a standing record. I don't even really recognize their whole roster because they made so many changes. So no, they are a disaster. Uh, I don't see the Knicks ever getting back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't see, but I do see Cleveland getting a whole lot better. I do see Cleveland getting a whole lot better. I do see the Celtics getting a whole lot better. Um, well, not getting a whole lot better enough to make a run, because they don't have Jason. They're not gonna have Jason Tatum, but at all for any time soon. But I can see the Orlando Magic getting better. I can see the Pistons getting a whole lot better next season. Um, I don't know. The Sixers is still a question mark, and and that's pretty much all I can think of right now. And the Milwaukee Bucks, they're pretty much in a thing, and they're pretty much in a team that's gonna be pretty much in rebuild from the beginning. So I definitely gonna mean it's definitely gonna be a whole shakeup in the Eastern Conference next season. So we're gonna see a lot of things is gonna be happening. He said Thunder is good, but the bench isn't there. Uh, I don't know about that. The Thunder have a pretty good bench. I've seen them all year. They have a pretty good bench. So we're gonna be looking at. We're gonna look at. We'll see how it goes with them. Halliburton isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, no, Halliburton's not going anywhere. Oh, he's gonna stay there for as long as they continue to put it up. I like their chances. I like the Pacers' chances with him and that same core line and that same core guys. Based on winning it, I want the flopper to leave. MVP, what you mean? It should be the most valuable flopper. Oh, that's funny. That's really good, Warrior on top. That's really good. Oh, your boy Jessel, how's it going, man? That's how's it going? He said Dallas is going to cook with Cooper Flag. Yeah, yeah, that's going to cook with Cooper Flag. Yeah, the Mavericks is going to cook all the way around. I mean, they got a really deep team, a really deep lineup. Oh yeah, hey, what's going on, Warrior on top? Yeah, Warrior underscore on top. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, overall, that's how I see it. I can definitely see. I definitely like the Pacers in 6 over the Thunder, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. I would not, because the Thunder have a really, really good defense. They only give up like under 103 points per game. I think for the Mavericks, their thing is health problems. Is Kyrie gonna be healthy enough, and is AD gonna continue to stay healthy enough in order for them to make a run? I don't know. That's gonna be the question mark for them. So yeah, we'll see the next offseason how the Mavericks is gonna be able to do. Except the Pacers have been doing good these past playoff runs. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The Pacers have been amazing in these playoff runs. I said before, they had the best record since January the 16th, I believe. They're like 42 and 16, second best in the league. So they definitely um, should have been a team that most people have been watching out for. But again, don't get that coverage. We don't get that. Oh yeah, that's my Pacers has always been my team. So yeah, I definitely. So yeah, Warriors on top. Yeah, definitely. The Pacers have always been my team for a while, for a long time. So I'm gonna rock with support with them. So yeah, I'm gonna always rock and support with them. But yeah, definitely, I could see them winning. But don't. I'm not gonna sleep. I'm not gonna sleep on anybody. Anything could happen in this postseason. We've seen the impossible. We see some historic buzzer beaters. We've seen some crazy endings. Some good overtime matches as well. So yeah, it can happen either way. But I want to thank everybody who joined the stream. Uh, thanks to everybody who supported me in this stream in particular, and also who's been commenting. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to Warriors on top and Halliburton is underscore goat, and thank you to Team Blue is not cool. All of you guys for commenting and supporting the page. Let me do something real quick. I want to thank you guys for joining the page and rocking and supporting, and thank you for commenting. I really appreciate that. Really good questions here. Really good questions about what's going on in today's game. Um, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll talk to you guys in the next stream that's gonna be there. I'll talk to you guys in the next stream. So, thank you for watching, and I will get on out of here. Peace.